in a stimulus plan, as governments throughout the Middle East have been throwing money at the streets, trying to buy off trouble, and that included Saudi Arabia. There is zero tolerance of protests, and the public sector pay has just been put up by 15%. Nevertheless, this is a protest on Wednesday night, we believe. And if we get more pictures or detail, we'll bring it to you. Still to come on AlJazeera. Seeking compromise to save his presidency, Yemen's leader promises political reform. And bowing out, the Dalai Lama steps down as political leader of Tibetan exiles, but he'll remain the Dalai Lama.
Welcome back. Well, we are going to look at one more day of snow across most of Japan. They've been seeing snow pretty much all week long, but Friday is going to be their last day, as you can see right here. That snow is going to be in the upper elevations just to the west of Tokyo. We're also going to be seeing some rain showers along that western coast. But as we go into Saturday, the storm system moves out, and we're looking at some much clearer weather, as well as much warmer weather. We're looking at Seoul at 12 degrees, Pyongyang at 11 degrees, and as you can see over here towards China, those temperatures begin to go into the upper teens and the lower 20s, so that's some very nice weather for the weekend there. Across southern parts of China, we are looking at still mostly cloudy conditions, heavy rain showers too. Over towards Taiwan, those are going to be where we see the heaviest rain showers over the next several days. Temperature of about 19 there. Manila, your rain showers start to die down. We're going to be seeing about 30 degrees for you into your forecast. Down towards Australia, that is one of our biggest concerns. It has been our biggest concern for the last week. We are looking at this very large area of low pressure to the north. This is really being affecting the North Territory as well as Queensland. We have flash flood warnings in effect for the next several days. Heavy rain showers are going to be a problem, about 100 millimeters of rain a day. But down towards the south, not looking too bad. We are looking at Melbourne at 28, Sydney at 27, and Brisbane at 28 also.
If you're a Nokia user, you can download AlJazeera's news widget from Nokia's Ovis store. The news widget, available on compatible Nokia devices, gives users quick and easy access to real-time news updates from Al Jazeera English. See the world in real time. Al Jazeera Mobile.
On the next Rizkan show, celebrated and controversial French philosopher Bernard-Henri Lévy gives a first-hand perspective on the battle for Libya's soul. Rizkan, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back to Al Jazeera from London with me, Stephen Cole. A reminder of our top stories. The son of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi says the time has come for full-scale military action against the opposition fighters in the country. Meanwhile, forces loyal to Gaddafi have launched new airstrikes and land assaults against opposition fighters in several eastern oil towns between Ras Lanouf and Bin Jawad. France has become the first country to recognize Libya's National Transition Council as the official opposition. The announcement was made by President Sarkozy as he met delegates from the opposition in Paris. NATO Secretary-General Anders Fogh Rasmussen says the alliance plans to move warships closer to the Libyan coast, but he said NATO still needs to clear legal mandate to enforce a no-fly zone over Libya. After a month of unrest, Yemen's president has promised to draft a new constitution, and this is the latest in a series of concessions in order to try and put down protests against his 30-year rule. But members of the opposition say the move is too little too late, as Hashim Al-Habara reports from Sana'a.
It's a parliamentary promise aimed at ending Yemen's long-running political stalemate, but it's already received a rough response.
A committee will be formed to draft a new constitution based on separation powers. A referendum on the changes will be held by the end of this year. 2, we will move to a parliamentary system where all the executive powers will be transferred to the government, which will be elected by the parliament by the end of 2011. We will also put in place a decentralized political and administrative system.
The proposals follow previous concessions. including a pledge by the president to stand down in 2 years. Those two were rejected. But President Saleh's advisors stressed the historic nature of what's on offer.
I think this is unprecedented announcement, and it's unique almost in the Arab world that the presidential system existing today will become a parliamentary system where the prime minister, who is elected by the people, will become the executive authority, and he will become 100% responsible to parliament and all actions he does.
That didn't impress Yemen's opposition parties, who still insist on the president's immediate resignation.
The president's statement is merely empty words in an attempt to escape the crisis. We call on the president to come up with an initiative defining his view of the so-called peaceful transition in order for him to leave.
So the daily protests in Sanaa's University Square are likely to continue. The demonstrators believe President Saleh's downfall is just a matter of time. The president says he's offering radical reforms. The opposition says it's just a publicity stunt. Each is holding out for its own brand of democratic change. But many fear the politically volatile Yemen may descend into anarchy. Hashim Ahbar, AlJazeera, Sana'a.
Just to recap our breaking news, Saudi Arabian police have opened fire at a rally in the east of the country. According to an eyewitness in the eastern city of Qatif, gunshots and stun grenades were fired at several hundred protesters as they marched through the city on Thursday night. This video was taken a few hours ago before the incident and appears to show a group of mainly Shia Saudis. The city has been the scene of several protests over the last 2 weeks. Italy's government has adopted a controversial draft bill that will overhaul the justice system, making judges liable to pay damages for judicial errors. It will also restrict the powers of prosecutors. Silvio Berlusconi's opponents accuse the Prime Minister of proposing laws in order to dodge his own prosecution. Barnaby Phillips reports.
Silvio Berlusconi announced the reforms with a bandage on his face. He's had surgery to repair damage suffered when he was attacked in the streets 18 months ago. So what's the connection between these judicial reforms and his own well-publicized legal difficulties?
Zero, absolutely zero. We've been planning this since 1994 when we entered politics. I've told young people from my party Forza Italia that I will never leave politics without first introducing this sort of reform into our judicial system.
So what exactly are Berlusconi's reforms? He wants a clear separation between judges and prosecutors, with less power for prosecutors. He wants judges to pay damages for mistakes. And he wants a more efficient system. Looming over Italy is the impending case of Berlusconi and the girl they call Ruby the Heart Stealer. He's accused of paying her for sex before her 18th birthday.